We're live. We're good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self Stories. Today, Mark Helm said something. I don't know if it was on his podcast or on LinkedIn, but I took a note of it and I wanted to share it because if you don't know Mark Helm, he's from America. He's been in self storage the longest time. I probably don't know many people who've been in self storage longer than him. And so you can always learn something from these other people. Mark Helm's got his own podcast as well. Really, really good podcast. He's got his own training as well to do mentorship or something in America. I don't know anything about it because I'm not a member of it, but it's very much American based. But something he said was incredibly knowledgeable, and I've never ever thought about it like this. And it was very self-deprecating as well. And I love self-deprecation because I don't like it when people don't pretend they don't make mistakes or don't do anything wrong, because it's simply not true. We're always making mistakes. And the problem is people pretend they don't make mistakes. And I don't like that side of business, mentorship, coaching, and it doesn't resonate with me. And so when Mark Helm said this, I'm like, I like this. I'm going to share this and I like it. I always say, give credit twice to the person and then it's yours forever. So I believe this is the first time I'm giving him credit, and then I'll give him credit again for it, and then I'm going to nick it. Then it's my mark, okay? Right. So before I get onto that, don't forget, tomorrow morning, the course opens. I am super, 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 super excited. This course will not be available again until the winter months, and the price will go up massively. Now, I said I was going to do it for one price. Last time I did £1,000 discount, last opening, it's going to be a £500 discount. And then the course is going up exponentially just because it's my lifetime of work, but not just mine. It's other experts that I spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on coaching, mentorship, that is all being amalgamated into this course. I genuinely think it's an amazing course, amazing value. And yes, this week, I keep telling you guys, I am going to sell the shit out of it. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And I'm saying that because I really believe it. I've had some incredible messages recently. People literally changing their financial landscape because of the course. And guess what? There's a money back guarantee, because I don't want to keep anybody's money who doesn't like the course, doesn't think it's valuable or whatever. I want to make sure that everybody who goes through the course and decides it's not for them can get a full refund. Like I said, I don't want to keep anybody's money. I'm going to go into every single day this week. I'm going to go into more detail as in what's in the course, what's not in the course. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to do a longer podcast and we're going to talk about the course. But I am super excited. The extra bits this time, there's an improve. But Gavin Shields does an amazing spreadsheet on Stora. But the only problem is with that spreadsheet, don't get me wrong, I think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I've used it. This has been my go-to spreadsheet. And I've had another spreadsheet accompanying that spreadsheet about debt, about my debt ratio, debt balance, and stuff like that. Because Gavin's spreadsheet doesn't have it all in. And I know why he doesn't, because he's trying to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to confuse matters. So we've still got access to Gavin's spreadsheet. But what I've done is, based on Gavin's spreadsheet, the foundation of it, we've just tweaked things here and there. And you can now have debt placed in there as well. So it tells you your debt, and it tells you return on investment, including debt. And it tells you return on investment with the money you put in. Because a lot of the money when you say a site's going to cost you 400 grand to open, and you're borrowing £300,000, so you're only putting you're putting £100,000 cash of your own money. What is the return on that £100,000? And so we've got that there as well. So it's just a little bit updated. There's two different spreadsheets. There's more a beginner one, and there's more one that somebody wants to understand the debts a little bit more as well. So you've got access to both of them. Again, both a model of Gavin. I can't take any credit for it whatsoever. I've been working with a guy on Fiverr trying to get this spreadsheet absolutely cock on. And believe it or not, it takes some time. God knows how Gavin did this spreadsheet, because it is a fantastic spreadsheet. So we've just copied that and bolted some things on top of it. We've got Laura Mox, Paperclip Queen. She's doing loads of stuff for us. Gavin Shields, founder of Stora, he's coming on to talk about remote management. Dan Bradbury has financial literacy course, which is incredible. And I think that alone is worth the price of admission. And then we have a 30-odd page checklist, cheat sheet on how to open a self-storage, what you should be doing when you should be doing it. And yeah, it's just a very, very simple to easy to understand thing there. What else is it? Is there any more? There's got to be more. Just 1 second while I have a look. I don't actually know if there is. I don't know if I've missed anything out or not. I will soon tell you. Oh yeah. Yes, there is one more. There's the Facebook ads. Now, the more and more I do some investigation work, the more and more I do believe Facebook ads. I know. I said it didn't, but it does have a place. It has a place in our marketing, but not in the traditional sense. I don't think that you spending money on Facebook ads is, once you're established, I don't know. I'm contradicting myself on this. I think you put it this way: your go-to marketplace is Google. Because why? Because there's an intent. When you want something and you need some self-storage, you don't go to Facebook. You go to Google. But what Facebook does do, it's a branding exercise. It gets your name out there, and for the amount of eyeballs you can get to, and it's very, very targeted as well. It's a fantastic it's a fantastic marketing tool that is perfect for branding. So it definitely has its place. And so what we're going to do is we've got a little bit of a deep dive, not a deep dive, but we're going into Facebook ads, and we're going into this website where you can see absolutely every Facebook ad that's from your competitors. It's wonderful. It's a peek behind the curtain of what's going on. And so we're going into that. I'm going to be recording that today. And that's a really exciting one, with the viewpoint to try and find an expert who is willing to, for the updated course, who is willing, and by the way, if you buy the course, you get the updated versions as well. And so what we're going to do is for the winter launch, we're going to make sure we include a Facebook ads expert who goes through exactly how to run a Facebook ads campaign. And the great thing is, I used to do a lot of Facebook ads before, and I think it's getting easier and easier with AI. Now, I think it's getting incredible. The targeting, Facebook just knows who to show it to. You hardly have to do anything. And so you just run it, improve it, iterate it, run it, prove it, iterate it, run it, and it just gets better and better and better and better. So we're going to go into that as well. Anyway, so buy my stuff, buy my course. I genuinely think, and it's not just, last thing, it's not just for people who want to get into self-storage. It's for people already in self-storage as well. There's a sales part of it. There's absolutely everything to increase your revenue. I got a testimonial from somebody yesterday saying, because by the way, I've never asked for testimonials. And I'm like, oh crap, I need some testimonials really. And people have been messaging me saying, Dean, do you want a testimonial? And I just like, done nothing with it. And so I was like, right, do you have some testimonials, please? And someone messaged me saying, I opened the course. I opened my self-storage facility a month before Dean's course, and it's paid for itself in revenue management, etc., and sales. And so basically, it's not just for people who want to open self-storages. It's for people who are already currently in self-storage. I'm sure there's value there. And like I say, if you don't get any value, nothing ventured, nothing gained, and I'll give you money back anyway. Right, so let's get on to today's podcast. Mark Helm. I told you I'm going to sell the shit out of it. I am going to sell. The idea is, like I said yesterday, all the money that I get from the course is going to go and invest in mentors and learning, education, and improving my self-storage facilities and opening more. And then the more we open, the more we can document. The more we document, the more people come into my realm and then buy the course. And it's a never-ending flywheel. So hopefully, I've said to the person who's coming to us, I can't say publicly who it is, but I've said that we'll have 15 sites by next year. And then bearing in mind, we've got 6 at the minute. Well, the 6th isn't open yet. I said, we'll have 2 more by the end of this year and 15 by the end of next year. So I need to get some capital in. So if it's not through the course, I have to borrow money. I don't want to borrow money, so we're going to have to do it through the course. So buy my stuff. Right, Mark Helm. Oh, do you know what? You feel a bit selling, but ultimately, I believe. Anyway, don't matter. I'm selling this week. I'm selling. Right. So this fellow content creator, Mark Helm, he's a very knowledgeable chap I put here. And he says, we all make mistakes. And one metric will fix all your mistakes. I was like, ooh, Mark, tell me more. What is it? Population growth. Population growth will fix almost all of my mistakes, and trust me, I'll make them. I love that, and trust me, I'll make them. Mark, do not worry, buddy. We all make them. You wouldn't believe the amount of mistakes I made at Glasgow. because I'm not used to opening an outdoor site. This is the first outdoor site I have opened for 13 years. And the first site was a piece of cake because everything was there. Everything was there. The gate, the palisade fencing, you name it, it was there. Water, reception, but a modular building, I think it was. Everything was there. Everything was absolutely there. And so it was a piece of cake to open. And this, there's just more moving parts, but we don't make mistakes, we learn. So I love the fact that Mark, who has probably been in self-storage 50 years, sorry, Mark, not quite 50 years, but a long time, even he is making mistakes. And I like what he says about population growth, because I've never really thought about it, because obviously more population, the bigger the populated area, the more need for self-storage. And so, for example, if we say 1 square foot per capita, if a population increases by 10,000, and by the way, I do know towns that's on my hit list that are increasing by 10,000 population, then guess what? You need to reevaluate that area, because that area needs 10,000 square foot more of self-storage. And so if you have made mistakes, if you do make mistakes, it's better to be in a place that the population is growing. If a population is growing, your margin for error increases. I love that. Let's have a look. Oh, one thing I do need to mention here is that in America, population seems to swing quite heavily. Sometimes there's massive population growth. Sometimes it's decreased. People move around America, move around different areas a lot more than they do in the UK. The UK is almost steady growth in every town, every area. I can't remember the last time I've looked at a place, because I always look at population. You've got to look at population. That's in my course, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I've got a course coming out. Yeah, I don't think I've looked at an area where the population has been steadily decreasing. Even if it has, it's not massive. And so everywhere I look, there's more houses being built and the population is steadily growing. So we're not like for like in America, because there is big swings. So if you've got an area of population growth in America, you probably will see tens of thousands of people different, population different. But in the UK, we don't normally see them sorts of big swings. But if it's a growing area, I'm thinking of one right now where it's just the amount of houses is incredible. And I'll give you a little tip as being built. Sometimes I don't finish my sentence before next I get too excited. I'll give you a little tip of what we've been looking at. I've got my virtual assistant to look at housing and look at where the biggest towns in the UK with the most expected growth. And so you've got to capitalize on fast growing towns. If it's you yourself do it, or if you get a virtual assistant, or you get somebody in your team to look at it, the data is very easy to find, and just look at where is building the most homes, because that's the population growth. And then what you want to do is, because 2 years ago, somebody might have had a look at that town and thought, yeah, 50,000 population, there's about 40,000 square feet. No, it's all right. Not for me. But that 2 years ago, that 50,000 populated town could now be 60,000, and there could only be 40,000 square foot. So you could open a 10,000 square foot self-storage facility comfortably. But when that was on other people's radars, it wasn't such an attractive proposition. And so that's why we need to keep revisiting these different areas, because the population can and will change. Sometimes accurate population is very hard to find, as well as up-to-date population. So that's why sometimes it's worth actually just doing the groundwork and speaking to the council. Get the boots on the ground, drive around, have a look. I know this one place that I'm thinking of that's got, obviously it's on my hit list, so I can't tell you publicly. It's the population has grown a lot, but it's not updated on anywhere on the website that I can find, on any websites. But I know, looking around the area and speaking to people in that community, that the population has grown by over 10%, which is mental. And so that there's an opportunity there, but people overlook it. Let's have a look. On the main, our cities and towns have steady growth curve. Obviously, there's a big growth population. That could mean a reassessment of that area if any potential opportunities. Yeah, I put, now I'm telling you all my secrets. Right, guys and girls, that is it. Don't forget, buy my course, buy my course, buy my course. I am honestly going to do everyone's head in this week, but we launch it tomorrow. Super excited. And I genuinely believe that it is an amazing course. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's an amazing course. All right, my friends. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll be selling you some course information tomorrow again. I'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be banging this drum. All right. So if you don't want to, probably don't listen. All right. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I've got a busy day of organizing this. I don't know if I mentioned it. Course. All right. See you later. Bye.